Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined alongside Jack Weinberger, and producer Zack is back.
He's back, baby.
Clap it up for Zack. Clap it up for Zack.
Yes, sir.
It's a weird show today because we don't have Robert Ziggy Ziegler with us, and he's not even at the University of Virginia for the coming months as he's going back to California to spend some time at home with school being out.
I mean, look, of course.
It's just a blank. It's black.
Blank screen.
Of course, Zach returns, but now, of course, there's no Ziggy. I mean, we had four of us in a long time.
And it throws us out of our rhythm a bit because normally we have our headphones on and it's
like
just the
fumbling
process.
around I'm fumbling around.
I just went to reach for my headphones. That's how we communicate with Ziggy, but we don't need it because we're all just down here tonight. So we'll have to carry the show, and there's real potential for this to go off the rails without Ziggy.
Yeah, especially now like adding Zach back too.
Well, Zach provides a little more stability. With Ziggy, Jack and I have done shows by ourselves, and we dove into some topics that all of a sudden people are again getting heated in the comment section. And with Zach and Ziggy, it's a little bit more controlled. It's a more conservative show. So thank God Zach's here, because otherwise, who knows where we'd go with this. But
kissing sisters again.
Yeah, kissing sisters, Jack. I mean, that's just normal, Jack. Who knows where we go without you on this episode?
Tying's worse than kissing your sister.
So what do you have today, Jack? What drinks here?
So I have, first off, my Michigan State hat. I did see a request for a Michigan State hat in our comments on the last video. There is not one piece of college apparel I don't have. Also got my Vatek Hokie shirt on today. And I also Wisconsin and Iowa, I think, too. I'll get those going on the next couple shows. But today we got a spiked Arnold Palmer.
See, this is a great sponsorship opportunity right here. Although you really need to pour the spiked Arnold Palmer into a cup.
Oh no, yeah, I probably. Well, I'll just do it for defective's sake, and just
take a look at that pour. That's a sweet pour.
Yeah, the tilt. There's no foam. By the way, there's no foam at all. Look it up. There's no foam.
We're supposed to.
I spelled a little.
That's what I mean. Like when we're talking before, and I'm like, all right, I know we have expensive equipment, we have expensive helmets right here.
So I bought the spiked Arnold Palmer just so there's no foam, regardless. So now you can't say like, oh, look at that foam, because there's no foam at all.
You spill
so
it.
But now I spill it on the counter.
Ziggy would be disappointed. Well, we have a pretty fun show today. We'll have a mailbag at the end, about 14 questions that we're going to answer. Thanks again to everyone who always leaves their questions. Then we're going to talk a little bit about franchise quarterback rankings. Remember, next week, we're supposed to be today, but with Ziggy gone, next week, we'll have our actual QB rankings for this upcoming season, which quarterbacks we'd want during the 2024 season alone. But today, there are a couple comments made about future quarterbacks who you'd take in a draft of all current players for the next 5 years. So we're going to address some certain quotes that we heard about that and say who we would want for the next 5 years, how we would rank the quarterbacks in that situation. And then, of course, the big Justin Jefferson news, which we'll get to in just a second. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Of course, you can become a member. That's what Zach always plugs. I don't know if you're on the screen right now, Zach, but if you throw your like Zach, why don't you give the little announcement?
Become a member.
There.
I don't want to stop waking up at 3:30 in the morning every day.
You do it for Zach.
Yeah, do it. Yeah,
if anybody, do it for him. I mean, he's got up at 3:30 in the morning Eastern time. It just sounds brutal.
It
every day.
Brutal.
He's in bed by 7 o'clock. Do it for Zach.
So we do appreciate anyone and the people who have become members for $4.99 a month. And remember, we'll read whatever mailbag question you have. I might need to start making an amendment on just reading anything and just saying read questions, because people are stepping up their game to that offer and giving us some pretty funny, pretty entertaining mailbag
as
responses.
They should. They're entitled to.
They are. They're
entitled.
That's what we said. And of course, you can always listen on audio if you can't catch us on YouTube. So go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. So I'm wearing this shirt. Do you see the shirt, Jack? It's a Gritty Gang. It's a Justin Jefferson shirt today.
It's a nice shirt.
Because this morning the news broke, and we had said this would happen for quite some time, that Justin Jefferson signed a 4-year, $140 million contract, 110 guaranteed with the Minnesota Vikings. And look across the NFC North, the division is just loaded offensively, top to bottom, with Lions top 5 offense. We all know about Jordan Love's ascension. The Bears, just this offseason, the Bears have Roma Dunze, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, and Caleb Williams joining the fold, which is just pretty incredible. So this was going to happen. This was necessary for the Vikings in, keeping up with the Jonases, basically, or the Joneses, to go and get keeping up with the Jonases. I think that was
I was like, is that sort of like meme that you're trying to do?
Nick Jonas, the Nick Jonas show. But yeah, broke a recent trend of the Vikings parting ways with receivers while they were still in their prime. Think of Randy Moss, Percy Harvin, Stephon Diggs. All of them were traded at some point. It was disappointing to see as Vikings fans, these guys, these stars, and players we love as fans, get sent away. And there were people who wanted to trade Jefferson. Believe it or not, there were people who said, go get the picks. This team isn't ready to win right now. Let's try and rebuild this roster instead of allocating such heavy resources to Justin. But for me, and tell me if you agree with this, Jack, I thought this was a no-brainer on basically every single level. As most productive receiver ever through 4 seasons, great locker room guy, gets along with everyone, awesome cultural impact in Minnesota. The gritty's taken over. He's only 25 years old. And then, of course, you have J.J. McCarthy coming in. And what better way to help him than having the best receiver in the game? So to me, it just checks all the boxes. It wasn't a question of if, it was a question of when he'd get this, and well-deserved.
Who do you think is the most handsome Jonas brother? Nick?
That's what people seem to say.
So I do agree completely. I mean, we said on the last show that it wasn't a matter of if, it was when. And the weapons that these other teams in the NFC North have, the Chicago, Detroit, Green Bay as their quartet. And we ranked them in the last episode, and it was tough to go 1 through 4 because they're all very loaded. Mm-hmm. Justin Jefferson is 24 years old, younger than us, on pace to be one of the best all time. And when you have an Antonio Brown level guy, or at least on pace to be so far, you pay him what he deserves. Mm-hmm. And he's the quarterback of this team, especially with the young quarterback too, and J.J. McCarthy. The best way to get him accustomed is to keep your superstar receiver.
Yeah.
I thought, obviously, of course, he's the highest paid ever now, right? But I think it was well worth it and he deserves it.
Highest paid non-quarterback in the history of football. And you look at the receiver market, this deal will probably start looking really good for Minnesota in the near future because you still have to pay Jamar Chase now. CeeDee Lamb is going to get a contract. I saw someone on Twitter saying the Cowboys are trying to make Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb the highest paid at their positions by continuing to wait to give them their contracts. But when you have Amon-Ra making 30, AJ Brown's making 32 million a year coming up, like Justin Jefferson at 35 is going to look good pretty soon. And with these other star receivers coming up with their contracts, I think it was a great job from Minnesota to get the deal done. And it was someone that you need to lock in when you're talking about a Hall of Fame level talent, not just a good receiver, not just one of the best in the history of football so far through 4 years. And when you look at the Vikings as a whole, talk about the foundational pieces of a team. I look at left tackle, Christian Darrisaw, one of the best in the league. Wide receiver now, with the way the NFL is at this moment, receiver is an incredibly important position. You lock in the best player in the league outside of quarterbacks in Justin Jefferson. Edge rusher, that would be my third. And you're hoping Dallas Turner can turn into the guy. I'd actually put cornerback as one of the 4 foundational pieces of a team, and the Vikings don't have that right now. But then the last one, in terms of players, because coach matters, is quarterback. Mm-hmm. And what? Oh yeah, with coach. The last one though is quarterback, and as much fun as we're having, finally signing Justin and moving on from this offseason, not a distraction, but in some ways it was just a little bit of a nuisance waiting for it to get done. J.J. McCarthy has to work. Like, it doesn't matter how good the team is. If the quarterback's not there, you're not going anywhere. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So the Vikings, despite having this really solid core here, if JJ doesn't turn out, or Darnold even, because I think Sam Darnold is like actually in position to have his best season ever for finally having offensive weapons. But if JJ McCarthy does not develop into a suitable quarterback, he doesn't have to be a superstar, but just a above average quarterback, then all of this is just going to be wasting time in Jefferson's prime, which we've seen. With Adrian Peterson, we only had a couple years of his real prime, and Antonio Brown. Think of like once Ben started to fall off a bit, Steelers had great weapons, but you can't go anywhere without the quarterback. So great to have these guys locked in, and great to lock up Jefferson. But to me, they are like the most luxurious of assets when you need the quarterback.
Yeah, also too, when you want to set your young quarterback up, you're hopeful to be quarterback of the future.
Yeah,
a young guy in McCarthy, you do the best for him as well. Mm-hmm. And Justin Jefferson not on the team does not help him in the slightest.
Yeah. So they need that. And it's funny, you look back, and some people who are anti the Jefferson contract are going to say, last year, do you know the Vikings record with and without Jefferson last year? Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it, no.
So with Jefferson, they were 2-8. Without him, they were 5-2. And that's where people can make their argument and say, okay, like we know that quarterback is what's most important. And Kirk Cousins was on the heater during that 5-2 or most of those 5-2 games. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, once McCarthy settles in and he's good, now all of a sudden you can go from a good team after establishing that the quarterback can play to a great team with the weapons they have. And that's why, Jefferson, more than anyone in the league, takes on double teams and opens things up for other superstar talented level players like Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones. It's an exciting time in Minnesota. Like if Darnold or McCarthy is okay, the offense is so good. So I'm jacked up. I think it's a great day.
I mean, I've said it too. To be a team who, unless you're the Chiefs with Mahomes, he's an anomaly.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a team who can go far and can compete, we've seen in recent years, a lot of these teams who are in the postseason have an alpha dog, like elite level receiver.
Mm-hmm. I saw Colin Cowherd, my boss, say something earlier today that 9 of the top 10 receivers in terms of receiving yards last year, their teams made the playoffs. And that's just where the NFL is going these days. And it's weird because the guys that jump off the top of your head, a lot of them aren't on that list. It's like, Puka had a great year, but when I think of best receivers in the league, I'm still not putting Puka there. Like right. Puka was top 10. You had Mike Evans in the top 10.
The playoffs.
Amon-Ra was in the top 10. Championship game,
Yeah.
All these guys, and it makes sense because their offenses had great years. But receiver is turning into one of those spots now where if you don't have one of the top guys, it can be a problem. And I just think having Jefferson obviously elevates you to such a high degree. And Zach, what do you think? Staying on the receiver topic, were you happy to see Waddle get that huge contract with Miami?
I was happy
because it was big. I mean, he's the third highest paid receiver in the league.
Producer Zack, baby.
Yeah, he's here. No, I was happy.
Or
with it.
fourth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was top 5 now.
Yeah,
paid highest, whatever he is. But I was happy with it. I mean, I think I'd rather sign him now before he has an incredible season and that 3-year, what was it, 87?
Yeah, he's 20.
Turns into
$20.3 million a year.
Like a 3-year 120, right?
Yeah, right.
I'd rather sign him now while he's still young and saves a little room because if Hill decides to come back for another year, at least we'll have some cap room for him. And then we'll get rid of Tua, and I can't wait to get rid of Tua.
Oh,
Zach's fully turned on Tua.
Well, we had the Tua segment a little while back, and it's interesting now that they paid Waddle this much money. And this is where we go off the rails here. They paid Waddle all this money. Tyreek Hill has this big contract right now, and Tua is just the elephant in the room of, all right, what is this contract going to be? Would you pay him? So you would not pay him under any circumstances in that $50 million club. It seems to be
absolutely not
the new standard.
Absolutely not.
45? Were you give him 45 like Kirk Cousins money?
I would pay him 40 at most.
40.
Yeah.
So that would put him with Dak Prescott. Well, Dak's going to get his extended. So Matthew Stafford's making 40. Derek Carr's 37.5. Kirk just got 45. I don't think you could go lower than 40. I don't think he'd take less than Kirk Cousins, do you?
He wouldn't, but he also hasn't won me.
So you're done.
He just hasn't won the big game for me, right? Like the game that's either make or break us, he's lost every single time. And if you want 50 to 40 or 45 to 50 million, I think you got to win half of those big games at least to show us. And he ain't. He's probably like 0 for 7.
That's such weird about the NFL now.
I remember, what was it last year? It was like 36-7 in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, they were never going to go into Kansas City -1 and win.
But it was just funny seeing that text from Zach. It was like, yeah, I'm done. He's out. I'm done.
Oh, that
was the last straw. That was the last straw for Zach.
I forgot it because Zach went into that game and we all knew. Everyone knew the Chiefs were going to win. Like, it was
but not by 30.
Maybe not by 30, but even Zach watching the game was just sitting there going,
the Chiefs weren't going to lose.
It's not going to happen. But the text from Zach, because we all left a little bit early, and getting the text from Zach after this, just, I'm done. I'm done with this shit. It was like, all right, he might actually be done this time.
I mean, you're in line for the top seed. You lose at home, and then you lose by 30 in the playoffs.
Well, do you think Dak Prescott deserves, $50 million? Like, Dak was number 2 in MVP voting last year, but he's kind of got that same thing as Tua, where hasn't won the big game. Like, do you think Dak deserves $50 million a year?
Well, I just think
I would give him that contract.
I just think it's very similar, those two situations, because I like where I'm at right now, knowing they're both at least
you don't want to give
like they're at least okay. No, I'd probably give it to him because I have a decent quarterback, and who knows,
Dak and Tua, you give
right?
them?
Yeah, so like who knows where I go next if they're not on the roster. I mean, they're two good quarterbacks.
It's just that's so much money, and that's what's tough about the quarterback market right now. Is you're giving them these huge contracts, or they're not.
Or you take a gamble on someone else,
or you just keep swinging, and that's Ziggy's philosophy. You just keep going till you get.
You'll eventually hit a home run
that you want to, but who knows how long that takes? I mean, some teams take forever to find their franchise quarterback. I mean, the Vikings have still not. We had Kirk. Kirk's the closest thing we've had to a franchise quarterback since, I guess, Culpepper, and Culpepper tore his knee up. So you could be looking for a long time when you have the stability. At the very least, Zach, you weren't here for this episode, but we were saying the Dolphins, if you go back and look at them over 20 years, you've really mastered that.
I know, it's good.
Over the course of 20 years, the Dolphins have just been horrendous. Like, Zach hasn't seen a playoff win. I mean, I'm a Viking fan, and my team sucks, and I've seen playoff wins. I've seen championship game losses. I mean, this guy's hasn't seen anything. So Tua at least gives you the ground floor of we're getting to the playoffs now.
Look, I think Tua is the greatest regular season quarterback.
Well, him and Dak. That's the thing. Him and Dak are very similar.
They just can't take the next step, and I don't know why you would pay somebody knowing that when you make it to the playoffs, they're not going to make that next step.
Yeah, the Dolphins' last 3 playoff games, I think, have been like annihilations.
Yeah. Well, that was so disappointing for them this year. Was you talked about? We talked about the Lions on the last episode and how they missed their opportunity. The Dolphins were the ones who really missed the opportunity when in a year where who was hurt in the AFC? Rodgers, Burrow, Richardson got hurt. Stroud was still in his first year. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Chiefs were down for a good portion of the season. The Bills stunk for half. They were 6-6. Like the Ravens got off to that great start and crushed Miami, but the Dolphins were there, and they're a warm weather team. I mean, I know that they're playing in Miami, but also they just seem to not function in cold weather games. To give up that 1 seed or the 2 seed was really disappointing. I'm not sure where it goes if you're the Dolphins from here, because the AFC is just getting better and better and better.
I think you just accept the fact that you'll probably be in the playoffs, but just lose.
Probably. Well, when you're given receiver contract, we're talking receiver contracts as well. Tua is someone though. You need to at least a baseline, a level of talent to be a good quarterback in the NFL, and Tua definitely has that. I mean, when Tua's on, he's awesome.
Yeah.
And
great regular season quarterback.
Giving him Waddle and Hill, like Tua can be great with those guys. There's some quarterbacks who would just be horrible. So as long as you have them, that's the thing. It's like, what are you going to do? Not waste the final 2 years of Tyreek Hill and hope you land a stud? That's where I think it's really tough for the Dolphins, because you have this team that's really good. It's just if you start now looking for the quarterback, I think you do another year or two. But I guess you have to give him.
You can't do anything now. You've paid.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, what are you going to do with Tua? Are you just going to start franchise tagging him over and over again? Like, you could do that. I think that might be the best route.
I thought Zach's first episode back to a full-blown Dolphins podcast.
Yeah, right. Immediately.
I mean, look, it's for good reason. For good reason.
It's an interesting discussion. I don't know the numbers well enough, but I do think that if I were running the Dolphins, I just want to keep franchise tagging him. I know that does not create a great locker room environment if Tua's pissed off, but yeah, handing him a ton of money is tough to do when you don't have the results. So we'll have to see. My guess is he gets his money.
He'll get his money.
We all think he'll get his money.
That's my guess too.
He'll get his money. It's just I just won't be happy with it. Now look, I'll take. You know what I would take? I'll take 2 years, $100 million.
Yeah, but he'll want 4. He'll want the security, right?
Right.
That's the Cousins model of like the 2-3 year contracts where you just keep making a ton of money.
But like I will take Tua like for another 2 years. Just to see if he could do it, he could do it.
That's ideal. I just don't think that's going to be an option.
We don't have his games where they win like 42-10. I'm like, oh, this guy's unbelievable.
But here's the thing: can you see Tua Tagovailoa getting hot enough in the playoffs where the Dolphins can go on a Super Bowl run? Like, I think it can happen.
Yes, if they're hosting games,
they need to be hosting.
Yeah.
They're not, and they're not going to go to Baltimore. They're not going to go to Kansas City.
But that's the problem with the AFC East.
Can you see Dak doing that? Can you see Dak going on a run?
I could see Dak more so going on the road than Tua.
Yeah, me too.
But I think
that they both have the potential
to be at home
to be good enough.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what's sad is that our best playoff game that we had in like 3 years was when Skylar Thompson was at quarterback.
Oh, well, you keep getting injured for the playoffs. It sucks for the Dolphins that
It does.
you're having these
Skylar
debilitating
Thompson
injuries.
Almost beat the Bills in the playoffs.
Yeah, you need a home game. That's what you need.
We do.
Okay, so while talking about franchise quarterbacks here, it is a question whether or not you view Tua Tagovailoa as a franchise quarterback or not. And clearly, producer Zack says no on this. I saw an article that Mike Tannenbaum, the former Jets general manager, he's no longer the general manager, maybe for this reason, was talking to Dan Patrick about franchise quarterbacks and who he'd take if he were drafting all the players in the NFL right now. And obviously, they all said Mahomes at number 1. Guess who Tannenbaum put at number 2, Jack?
I have a pretty good guess. My gut's telling me Jordan Love.
He goes, between Jordan Love and Trevor Lawrence was the question. And Tannenbaum goes, that's easy for me. Jordan Love. I'll put it this way. If we're drafting NFL players, we would take Patrick Mahomes 1. I'm taking Jordan Love 2.
Look, this guy is
I've really been thinking about this a lot. Who would you take before Jordan Love in terms of youth, ability, and I think his future is limitless. So that obviously caught our attention since we're very NFC North focused here about which quarterbacks would we possibly take over Jordan Love right now, because he's one of those guys he is considered in most people's eyes a franchise quarterback, but he's a weird case where it's the sample size is still pretty small compared to everyone else. I mean, even CJ Stroud put together more of a complete season than Love did. Where, are you really ready to commit this much? And most of us we've all said yes. But in terms of actually ranking franchise quarterbacks, different from ranking 2024 quarterbacks, like Matthew Stafford, I wouldn't view as a franchise quarterback anymore because I think he's going to retire in a couple of years, right. Or Kirk.
Yeah.
But for the next 5 years...
No, you can view Kirk. I'd take Kirk over most other people.
No, Kirk's amazing. Kirk's amazing. So in terms of the next 5 years, Jack, I want to know which quarterbacks would you take over Jordan Love?
Look, we're very NFC North focused. I love our Green Bay following. I do like Green Bay, and I love Love. But putting him at number 2 is pretty outrageous to me. I go obviously Mahomes is 1. Yeah, I would take Joe Burrow over Jordan Love. I'd take Josh Allen. Too. I'd probably take Lamar too.
Let's see if you match up with me.
So I take Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar.
And I think
that's like definite.
I think that's I think those are the top 4 quarterbacks in the league. And then I'd probably Herbert.
Well, then it gets tough. Yeah, Herbert too. Then it gets tough because you have like Stroud and Dak and Lawrence. I could see myself taking Love at number 6.
So Mahomes. So I'm right around there with you.
I'd probably actually go Stroud over Love too. And then I'd probably take Love. I would take Love before I take Dak and Goff and Hurts.
Lawrence too?
And Lawrence. I would take Love number 7.
I think that's where I'm at. If I'm ranking my franchise quarterbacks, guys I want, let's just say for the next 5 years, I'm going Mahomes 1, Allen 2, Burrow 3, Herbert 4, Lamar 5, Stroud 6. It's tough here.
Then you got like Dak.
I'd probably put Love at that point. Again, still question marks, but I'm willing to take the gamble. Love 7, Lawrence 8, probably Jalen Hurts at 9, and then 10. This is where you're looking at
Russ.
Yeah, Russ. This is where you're looking at Caleb. I know you don't like Caleb, but I like Caleb could be. If I'm ranking guys, I think Caleb might by the end of the season could very well be higher on that list. Goff's only 28, 29.
Yeah, I thought he was like 35.
Well, Goff feels like he's 37 years old.
I thought he was like 35 years
29 years old, Goff. Tua, AR. People are forgetting about AR. Purdy was really good. I might actually put Kyler at 10. Would you rather have Kyler for the next 5 years or Dak?
Probably Dak.
Probably Dak?
Yeah, probably Dak.
What do you think, Zach? Who do you put next? Dak, Kyler, Goff?
I think I'm taking Kyler.
I think I'll go Kyler too at 10. But yeah, that's the thing.
Who was a cooler name, Dak or Kyler?
Well, Dak was the name of my dad's dog.
Oh, so you have to go Dak. I'd probably go with Kyler, actually. That's a pretty cool name. Like it's a mix of like Kyle and Skyler. Kyler.
Yeah, I don't want to be named Skyler, though.
Well, you're not named Skyler, you're named Kyler.
Yeah, I'll go Dak. So, yeah, I mean, when we're ranking quarterbacks, though, to have to even just have Love as a top 10 franchise quarterback is pretty crazy here. And then it's fun when you start thinking about, which quarterbacks you draft if you're ranking everyone in the league, because you do have guys like Rodgers and Kirk and Matthew Stafford who are these aging stars who I still think, for 1 or 2 years are really, really good. It's just at what point do you cut off the younger quarterbacks and finally make that move for the older stars? So the episode we'll have coming out next week will be a little bit more oriented towards the 2024 season, and we'll have Ziggy come out because I'm not sure if some of these guys stick in the top 10 once you start adding in those veterans.
I want to see Ziggy's rankings too. Those will be interesting.
You know who didn't come up? Did we say Purdy?
I mentioned Purdy for a second, but that's Brock Purdy's going to be someone I'm watching him really closely this year because he's finally he could finally start getting more respect. If the 49ers go back to the NFC Championship game again, that's why I was talking to my dad about all these teams or all these players we're mentioning and whether or not they get paid like star franchise quarterbacks. If the 49ers go back to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship game, you got to give Purdy money, right?
Yes.
Like at that point, you have to pay him.
I think I'd probably put Purdy at number 8 behind Jordan Love.
Really? Ahead of Lawrence? Ahead of Hurts?
Yeah, Lawrence, Hurts, and Dak.
Like Brock Purdy's someone there. Anthony Richardson's another one that I'm looking at. Where
I just got to see him play.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't give him a ranking right now.
One thing that I'm starting to see with Anthony Richardson is that he was so good. I'm sorry. He's gotten so much hype because he showed flashes of being awesome last year. But when you look at the game as a whole, like it was just flashes. In general, the Colts were okay with him, but he did show these moments of greatness where all of a sudden now I can't tell if he's being underrated or overrated. The Colts had a strong team, nearly a playoff berth, but we just haven't seen him.
Yeah,
like at all.
I gotta watch him.
Nothing at all. Imagine Jordan Love got hurt after 3 games last year. Everyone would Packers might have a different quarterback right now.
Yeah,
if Jordan Love got hurt in week 6.
I mean, you don't know.
Yeah. So, but he's someone I'm circling, and Zach Tua is way down the list for you.
Oh, he's far.
Tua or Justin Fields.
Tua.
Probably Tua. Yeah.
Jared Goff's got to be. Jared Goff's 30 this year.
I mean, Goff still has what? You think maybe like 5 solid years left?
Probably.
Maybe even more.
Would you rather? They're both Goff and Dak are 30. Who would you rather have for the next 5 years?
Oh, probably Dak.
Goff.
I think I go Dak. Too.
I hate to say it, but probably Dak.
Really? That's crazy.
That's close.
Well, Goff was awesome. Goff,
was.
The fact that Goff is on this list still or in consideration is awesome for him in Detroit. And then Lions fans are not complaining at all for giving him the contract he got. It is well deserved in the bottom feeding team. Okay, one more thing I wanted to bring up, guys, before the mailbag. Did you see CJ Stroud ranked his top 5 quarterbacks?
Oh, on the Parsons and Stroud podcast?
On the no, on the $1 Million Worth podcast, he ranked his top 5, and he said, we're speaking of Dak right now. He said Mahomes, Lamar, himself, Dak, Jalen Hurts was his top 5 quarterbacks.
I'm surprised he put himself at 3.
No, that's what I wanted to ask you. Then he amended it. He went to Instagram and amended that list and said Mahomes, Lamar, himself, Josh Allen, then Dak, and we said Burrow would be on the list if he wasn't hurt. But I was looking at that going, man, you're putting yourself ahead of Josh Allen after year 1?
No, I'm saying, why are you putting yourself at number 1?
Oh, I guess it's humble to some point, but
I would look, if you wouldn't you put yourself at 1 if you were Stroud?
Well, he hasn't won anything, that's why.
He hasn't won anything. I can't believe he put himself ahead of Josh. I mean, I understand why because he's high on himself. But.
If I was in Stroud's shoes, like a rookie taking my team to the playoffs, I'd come out here and say I'm the best quarterback in the league, though.
I think that CJ Stroud,
maybe behind Mahomes.
This is going to sound harsh, but I don't think CJ Stroud is absolutely not top 5 quarterback. And it's going to sound weird because I have him ranked like 6 or 7 probably in the NFL, or definitely in the top 8, I would say. But to me, that ranking of, and again, we'll do this more next week, but that ranking of Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Herbert in some order is pretty clearly to me the top 5 quarterbacks in football, however you want to do it. And then after that, 6 through 10 is a little more interesting. 11 through 15, you have a lot of guys who can be in that spot as well. That top 5, though, I don't really think anyone is cracking that. For me heading into this season. I'll change my list a bunch, but not that 5.
That will create some interesting fuel for Josh Allen when they play the Texans.
All right. I bet Josh Allen
Did you
could
see the,
not care less.
Just probably like
Yeah, probably not.
off topic, but on topic at the same time. Did you see?
Interesting.
CJ Stroud was on some podcast. They asked, whose career would you rather have, Eli Manning's or Aaron Rodgers?
That's what I saw on the Parsons
Wait,
and
Eli?
Stroud.
He said Eli's because he got the ring.
All about winning.
Yeah,
he said,
that's a Parsons and Stroud podcast.
what would you guys rather have?
Eli or Aaron Rodgers' career?
Yeah.
I mean, a ring carries so much weight. And
Rodgers.
I mean, yeah,
Rodgers.
but like to beat Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls, like when you think of those two ultimately, right? You think of, all right, Aaron Rodgers has had a lot of good seasons and won 1 ring, and Eli beat Tom Brady twice. I honestly might go with Eli. Like, look, those 2 takeaways from the careers. What do you think of Aaron Rodgers? Some great years, won once. Eli beat Tom Brady twice.
It's funny that Aaron Rodgers' career, by a lot of people, is viewed as, I don't want to say a failure, but
It's not a failure. He had a great career.
like disappointing in some ways, where there were so many Packers teams that got to the NFC Championship game and lost. What'd they lose? They lost to the Bucks once. They lost to the Falcons, lost to the Seahawks. I think there's one more in there as well. The 49ers, maybe twice. Where you had so many opportunities to get a Super Bowl. Like the Packers really should have won 2 or 3 Super Bowls with Aaron Rodgers. And what, 4-time MVP?
Aaron Rodgers is 10 times better than Eli Manning.
Well, no, Aaron Rodgers will go down as a top 10 quarterback in the history of football. But Eli does have those 2. I would probably pick Aaron Rodgers.
Like what we said in that last, on our
4-time MVP.
Our last episode, that we, like every single one of those years, those Rodgers years, we expect the Super Bowl. And they failed to hit their ceiling.
Yeah, there was more disappointment in the career. Actually, I don't know, because Eli was also number 1 pick. But I just think Aaron Rodgers dominated the game at such a high level. Yeah, for a while, best quarterback in the league, depending on who you asked. I think that career is probably better than Eli's.
I think he
has a better career than Eli. Like he does.
No, he does. He has a better career than Eli. But I think I might rather.
You might rather have those moments that Eli had.
Rather be able to say like I beat Tom Brady twice in 2 Super Bowls. Yeah.
Yeah, but Jack, Aaron Rodgers beat Ben Roethlisberger.
I hate to say it, Brady's better than Ben Roethlisberger.
What do you take? Who would you take, Zach?
I think I'm taking Eli's career. I think I'll agree with him and take Eli's career.
Now, I would take Big Ben over both, easily.
Stroud is someone who would be great to have a podcast. If CJ Stroud will have a podcast at some point.
Could we get Stroud on here?
Yeah, the invitation's open.
CJ.
It'd be awesome. Be awesome. I would take it. Okay, let's get into the mailbag here. We'll do a little bit. Oh, wait, I wanted to ask you. So CJ Stroud, you don't think he's a top 5 quarterback though, right?
No, I'd probably go with your 5. And then, I mean, one could argue.
He's somewhere in there.
One could argue number 6, but he's not top 5. I mean, I'd rather have one of those.
He's confident coming into this year.
I know.
He's confident.
Like, why not?
He deserves
like,
to
you
be.
have to. Yeah, you got to be. I mean, I'd put himself, if I was him, I'd say I'm number 1.
It's crazy that Mahomes has such a stranglehold on the league that literally everyone just goes, yeah, no, he's won. Like there's no fun conversations to have about Mahomes because he dominates that much.
Well, it's like who's the
it's just him and Brady.
It's like who's the sexiest ginger alive? Me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just 2 things. It's just a known fact.
Okay, let's go to the mailbag. here. From Go Pack Go Infinity.
So the spiked Arnie's hitting a bit.
Who knows where the mailbag
The spiked
goes.
Arnold Bomber's hitting a little bit.
Always open for chaos.
Ziggy's not here. Let's go off the rails. This mailbag.
If you started an expansion team,
I got a little buzz going. Zach's back.
If you started an expansion team, which city would you choose? Which free agent coach would you choose? And what quarterback, either current free agent or 2025 NFL draft QB, would you choose? For me, it would be St. Louis, Bill Belichick, and Carson Beck. Just to get it out there, the free agent quarterbacks right now are Tannehill, Simeon, PJ Walker, Blaine Gabbert. Like, you're not taking it's what draft eligible quarterback for next year would you take? I would take Belichick as coach. I still think Belichick is a genius.
That's a good question. I think players hate playing for Belichick, though. I think I would go.
Wait, does it have to be a free agent coach or any coach?
He said free agent coach.
All right.
Could you take Ben Johnson? Could you take a coordinator?
I'm thinking of the city first. No, I'd go. My quarterback would be Quinn Ewers. I think he's amazing. And then
over Beck and over
Beck.
Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders I think stinks. I go Quinn Ewers, Tom Coughlin, and
Coughlin. How old is Coughlin now?
70s.
The city? I don't know. No. Sorry, I'd go Bill Cowher. Quinn Ewers. I'm stuck on the city. I don't know what the city would be. What do you
I mean,
think?
anywhere you want.
You have a good city idea?
For the NFL,
Have to be Buffalo, right?
There's a team in
Buffalo.
Oh.
Oh no! You're relocating.
Yeah, relocating.
You're relocating.
Or you're opening. You're going somewhere.
Oregon,
You go to like Portland.
Portland.
I mean, you got like Seattle up there, right? Like I'm thinking of like where's nobody. You know where I go?
Oh wait, no, they already have that.
I'd go to like Salt Lake City, Utah, and rival the Cardinals. I go to Salt Lake City with Bill Cowher and Quinn Ewers as my quarterback.
Salt Lake City with Bill Cowher and Quinn Ewers. That's pretty good.
That'd be a dream team.
That is pretty good. I'm trying to think of a city that has that needs what city needs an NFL team.
I feel like most have one.
What about like South Carolina?
You go Columbia, Myrtle Beach.
I mean, you could go international. You could always go international.
The Titans are in Nashville. Oh,
No, international.
I was going to say.
No, for a second, that was when I just went, oh, they have a team. I was thinking Nashville for a second. And how much you like that?
I wouldn't go international.
Yeah, maybe I would go with, New Jersey already has a team.
Also, you know what else I might do? I might, Bill Cowher and Quinn Ewers are on lock. Then I also just might go to like Topeka, Kansas and just pack the house from like everyone in the whole Midwest. Like coming with like 500 miles of each direction to come see my team play. Like I'd be Midwest team.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I mean,
the Topeka Jayhawks.
Does Alabama
Like Montgomery, Mobile. Is it Mobile or Mobile?
I think it's I thought it was Mobile.
Mobile, maybe it's Mobile.
Mobile. Yeah, I guess I would go with Belichick. Let's stick Belichick in. I like the Salt Lake City idea. Right, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be.
I'm gonna go with you in Salt Lake City. Although, no, I'll go to Montana. I'll go to Montana with Bill Belichick, and we'll take.
You know who knows the capital of Montana?
Carson Beck.
I know the capital of Montana.
You do.
Yeah.
What Omaha? What about Nebraska?
I said Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Or no, I said Topeka. I was thinking Lincoln in my head.
What about Lincoln? Could that
it's
be?
Not a bad idea. You got football fans there already with Nebraska.
God, that'd be horrible. What a horrible idea. I gotta stay on the coast.
Providence.
Stay on the coast.
Well, yeah.
What's New England? It's New England. Everyone go to Patriots games.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, we'll move on from that.
That's
a good question.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Anybody in Maine?
Nah, but I mean, who's going to Maine?
I mean, would you go to like Portland, Maine to see a game? I don't know. It's kind of far.
I keep thinking there's a city we're forgetting somewhere in here.
There is, and we're gonna think of it after the show.
Okay, let's see. Tony Ball says, "Whole life have a balance. Everything be better." From Mr. Miyagi, a quote. With that in mind, what early season long injury to a single non-quarterback player on each of the NFC North teams would be the most debilitating to that team? Also rank the teams from having the best to worst success without that player. I think for the Bears, I got a list right here. I think for the Bears, Montez Sweat, I would say, following, just look at the defense before and after him last year. Sweat was awesome addition. Vikings, I actually might go with Christian Darrisaw, the left tackle. Just with McCarthy, Darnold, you got to keep those guys up. JJ would be a huge loss, but we have a lot of weapons. And there's just no one on defense I think is that valuable enough. Lions is interesting. It's either Sewell, Amon-Ra, or Aiden Hutchinson, because they're not a very deep team, Detroit. So I think that losing Sewell, or even who's on the left side for them, Taylor Decker, I think.
I have no idea.
I might actually go Amon-Ra, because that receiving room after Amon-Ra is pretty thin.
This is a non-quarterback?
Non-quarterback. Amon-Ra or Aiden Hutchinson?
I think I'd probably rather lose Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, man, he is. Yeah, I think so. With their revamped D-line, and then for the Packers, I would go with. That's the thing about the Green Bay is they have so many pieces.
It would be a defensive play.
Very few. Yeah, like offensively they could survive.
Yeah,
I mean, actually, maybe Josh Jacobs, depending on how he comes in. But yeah, you could look along the offensive line, but they're kind of deep there too. I would probably go with McKinney.
Who's their star corner? Jair Alexander.
I would go Jair or McKinney. I'd go with one of the secondary guys.
Yeah.
Because that's a thinner group for them. And if you're getting great Jair, then definitely Jair. From JK Zarata, he says, "What's your favorite game day food? Appreciate the entertainment during the slow football summer. I'm fairly new to your channel, so looking forward to watching you guys when we have actual games." Oh, dude, we cannot wait for actual games.
Yeah, that's going to be so fun.
We love the off-season content. It's a lot of fun doing it, but it's with the games.
Zarata's my guy.
Yeah. Oh no. You guys are boys.
I like game day food. X Pomsky X is my other guy.
Zach and I always do sandwiches.
Uh,
Italian subs.
Oh, no. I don't get no Italian sub. We're talking football. We're having buffalo chicken.
Oh, buffalo chicken. Yeah. Or
Buffalo
wings.
chicken.
So for college football Saturday and NFL Sunday, I've said this before. I go to this little pizza restaurant down the street called Kinchili's. I get my thin crust bar pizza, some garlic bread parmesan, and some mozzarella sticks.
It was a feast.
And then I pound like some beers.
We've been doing Sunday Night Football too. We've been ordering pizzas a lot lately.
Pizza just fantastic.
It's great.
Yeah.
And you know who likes Kinchli's?
Zach's not even talking to the mic. Just talking to the ground.
Who do you like Kinchli's? Who likes Kinchli's, Zach?
Dave Portnoy.
He does. From Let's Go Blue 13. That's gotta be Michigan, which I'm not.
Hail
we don't
Sparty,
like that.
baby. Hail
The Notre Dame
Sparty.
helmet, Michigan
Hail
State
Sparty.
hat. We don't like that. Basketball is the Harlem Globetrotters. Baseball has the Savannah Bananas. Do you think it's possible football can have their version of that? Maybe players can do tricks like in the video game NFL Street. That's a game Ziggy and I love, by the way. And if you were the owner of that team, what would your team name be? Go Pack, go.
I don't see it
I don't think
working.
it's no.
No, I think it could work, but you couldn't have 11 on 11. It would have to be
Maybe
like,
7-on-7.
Yeah.
I'd even
Or
go
flag.
4
Like
on
flag.
4.
I'd go
I
like
think you could go 4-on-4 like the flag football they do.
I mean, the Savannah Bananas are so funny. And say like basketball, you could do it. Baseball, you could do it. Football can be tougher.
I think football is one of the one. It's maybe the one sport where there's the NFL, and then I will never get behind any other league or any other team. And I don't know why. Like maybe I'm being closed-minded.
Football's
but
like that though.
that's just it for me. It's like I want to watch the NFL, and then I'll watch like Pro Bowl challenges, but I don't. You could do a little more trick stuff with basketball. Obviously, football is. I guess you'd have. I don't know exactly what you mean by NFL Street because that's like power ups and things like that. But maybe I'm forgetting something. But I don't think I'd want to go and watch. That would be like Pro Bowl. I'd go see the Pro Bowl.
Do you know what my team name would be?
Interesting thought though.
You know what my team name would be? It would be the Central Chattanooga Chippewas. It would be based out of Tennessee.
What? How do you have that on the top of your head like that?
I was just thinking of Chattanooga randomly because I was talking to my dad about this one park we went to recently we hiked in Chattanooga at this like very pretty park. It's like a state park. When we got to the top, we could see 7 states. We could see 7 different states from the top of the mountain in Chattanooga. We drove through it on the way home from Alabama. So it was just in my mind. So I'm like, all right, nice area. I like it. I had fun there. We'll go Central Chattanooga Chippewas.
Could you look at?
I don't know Chippewas, but it's like a cool name. Central Michigan. That's their team name. I don't know what it is, but it's a cool name.
I'm looking at the best cities, most fun cities. Most of them on this ranking are all gone in terms of where we would put our team. Salt Lake City is one of them, Jack. That's the St. Louis and Salt Lake City are the two that I'm not going back to St. Louis probably. St. Louis was great.
You can also go the Augusta Crabs if you go to Maine.
Not bad. All right, we'll move on to Nathan Smith. Says, I've never met a sports fan who doesn't have a few luck rituals for their team. What are some of yours? If I'm listening on the radio, I can't start listening right away or we lose. Around 5 minutes into the first quarter is the safe zone. Do you have any superstitions?
Honestly, I really don't.
Doesn't Jack go to church every Sunday?
Well, I do. I go to church every Sunday.
I think that's because he's religious.
Yeah, that's not like a superstition. I do say a prayer for the Steelers every week, though.
There's a stretch during the season where if I wear an outfit, I'll repeat my outfit for multiple weeks if we're on a winning streak. Like I wore a Kirk Cousins shirt several games in a row last season. I'll probably still wear Kirk shirts next year. But that's about as close as I come. I used to be a lot like knock on wood, things like that. And then I was like, you know what? I'll just roll the dice. And clearly it hasn't paid off. But
I really have nothing. Like I don't do that stuff. Unless it's Mike.
I don't bet on my team. That's another. I don't bet on my team anymore.
So I bet on my team every week.
I know you. I know Jack does. I do not bet on my team. I bet against my team like once or twice, and I always lose. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm done.
Well, that's where you guys are different. You don't bet on your teams. I can't watch my team without betting on it.
And I want to clarify, betting against, betting against. I meant like I bet against Notre Dame basketball when we were 4-20. And we upset number 5 Florida State at home. It's ridiculous. That was a system.
That's a system game.
Oh my gosh, I missed. He had the comment where he said how to pronounce it. From Brad.
X-Pomsky X.
Brad, I'm letting Brad down here. I saw his comment where he said the pronunciation, but I was driving and couldn't read the whole thing. But he did say thank you. All right, I'm going to say from Brad. From Brad P. He says, if you could steal one player from the other NFC North teams and put that player on the Vikings, which player from each team would you steal? I think we've had a question like this before. For the Vikings, it's very easily the quarterback from any team because the Vikings would be a pretty solid team if a quarterback steps up. If you ruled out quarterback from the Bears, I would go Jalen Johnson. Lions, I would take Aiden Hutchinson. And yeah, probably. And the Packers, I might take Elton Jenkins, actually, and beef up interior offensive line.
You would take Josh Jacobs?
No, we got Aaron Jones, man. Aaron Jones is better than Josh Jacobs. Packers fans know that. It would either be maybe Jair.
That's close.
Jair could be, if you get good Jair, I'm taking Jair.
I think it's Hutchinson. The other receivers. Yeah, I'd go Hutchinson. It'd be all defense.
Jalen Johnson, the corner, Chicago.
Yeah. Who's the Utah kid, right? He's pretty good. Yeah, then probably Jair. I would just do the 3 best defenders from each team.
There's a guy, gigantic B, right there.
I'm actually I'm horrified of bees. Where is it?
literally right there next to you.
Where?
No, it's not next to you. It's like on the.
Oh my gosh, we have to pause the show.
From Sammy. Sammy says, I know my question last week was goofy. This week I've got a good one. For each of you, give your top 5 NFL stadiums with the best playoff atmosphere. For me, I'd go with 2 through 5 in no particular order. 1 Lambeau, 2 AT&T Stadium, 3 Arrowhead, 4 Levi, 5 Ford Field. Honorable mention.
AT&T is a horrible answer.
Yeah, not for playoffs.
That's very big and doesn't get loud.
It's a cool stadium.
It's very cool.
We've been there a couple times. It's a really cool stadium. He says honorable mention Orchard Park, US Bank Stadium, Heinz Field. Doesn't exist, Heinz
Field's top 5. Easily.
Acrisure.
Okay, fine. Acrissure's top
Gillette
5.
Stadium. In no particular order, I'll put. I thought Ford Field was amazing last season, so I'm going to put them in, even though I'm not sure.
It's only been one game though. It's been one game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, they had 2, right? They had 2. I mean, it's crazy. The atmosphere is insane.
Yeah, but look, it's their first season in the playoffs in 20 years?
Yeah, but I'm going to give them credit. I'm going to say if next year there's a playoff game, I think they go nuts again. But that might fall off if they had more consistent success. Orchard Park Buffalo is pretty nuts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of them in there. I will also have Arrowhead probably.
Yeah.
Arrowhead's
I think decibel level, Arrowhead has the record. I'm pretty sure. For the NFL.
Wasn't
for the NFL.
Seattle nuts back in the day?
Seattle is.
Tough man.
Yeah. I probably put Seattle in there.
That's 3 of my top 5 too.
What is Seattle's stadium?
CenturyLink.
CenturyLink.
Is it still?
I think they changed it.
No, they did change it.
I can't remember what they changed it to.
Yeah, not me neither.
And then MetLife.
Oh, yeah.
then the Jets playoff game would actually, to be fair, Jets playoff game would be electric.
No, it wouldn't.
Giants would do
MetLife is probably 30.
The Jets would do well.
The Jets
would do well.
The Jets is 27. Giants is probably 32.
I will put for my 5th one, US Bank. US Bank's an amazing stadium.
I go Pittsburgh 1. I've been there a lot. You can't hear, your ears ring. Pittsburgh's legitimately 1.
Pittsburgh is very cool.
Pittsburgh is 1. No bias. Seriously, I think it's number 1. I think you're biased. I go Arrowhead number 2. Number 3, I'd go Seattle. 4, I'd probably go Green Bay.
Philly in there?
What about Cincy?
No.
Browns?
Not Cincy.
Browns would probably be lunatics.
Ravens, no.
Raiders. Old Raiders would probably be nuts.
Yeah, old Raiders would be nuts. 5, I'd probably go Buffalo.
Philly? Could Philly be in there?
Yeah, Philly is probably up there. A top 5's tough.
Kind of nuts. Yeah. Fun question. X Pomsky X says,
"Hi guy,
how deep do you guys look at OTA practices for players? How, for example, Jordan Love performs, Caleb Williams, etc. The quarterbacks, especially. What's your view on it for their performance? OTAs, I don't. I just enjoy seeing
this podcast
guys back.
Hates OTAs.
Why? We don't mind. We like OTAs.
Hate OTAs.
And we've covered OTAs.
They're fine.
We've covered
OTAs are fine.
Okay, sorry. Let me rephrase this. We love OTAs because of all this stupid hype that comes out about everything. Yes.
And we can just feed off of that.
We hate OTAs because we know all that stupid hype in the end is nothing.
I think OTAs mean nothing.
Yeah, personally, I don't really start getting excited till
training camp.
No, even week 1. I start building up the stories, but preseason drives me nuts because I'm all right, I'm ready to go.
You're so close, you're almost there. Yeah.
From Sully9332, who is also a member. Thank you, Sully. He says, if you guys,
members.
Yeah, members.
Let's go.
If you could change the overtime rule, would you change it? If so, how? Thanks once again for the entertainment you provide us every week. If you guys are still serious about Pick'em League this year, I'd be willing to donate a framed 8x10 autograph photo with certificate of authenticity of Jordan Love or another player of choice. That's cool. That is very cool. That's a thank you for that. We might take you up on that.
Thank you, boss man.
Changing over. I actually really like the way overtime is right now with regular season win with the touchdown because I do, defense matters. And then in the playoffs, I like both teams getting their shot, and I'm willing to extend the game more in the postseason for the sake of it. I love it. I
think both teams need the ball in OT.
Not in the regular season.
Yes. Because what if you're playing a week 17 game, winner gets into the playoffs, losers out? That's the same thing as a playoff game.
Get a stop.
So how can you say...
Get one stop.
But how can you say, okay, playoff game, let's do what regular season can't? What if week 18 is a playoff game?
Most of the time it's not.
Most of the time it is. Like week 18 is a huge week.
Oh, no. I mean, like,
what if it
most
goes,
teams, like there will be some games, but I'm going to say get a stop. Like you got to draw the line somewhere.
I think you either have no rule or you have the rule completely.
I like it. I like it getting more. I like it changing in the playoffs.
I think both teams need to play.
I understand what you're saying.
That is so absurd.
I understand what you're saying.
Like you win a flip, winning team goes and scores.
Get a stop.
That's hard when you play 60 minutes.
What do you mean? Play the whole damn game. Like you get stops in the fourth quarter. You get stops in the third
whoever
quarter.
gets the first stop wins the game in overtime.
No.
With my rule, yes.
Oh, with your...
Yes. Whoever gets the first stop wins in OT. Get a stop.
Well, if your defense comes out...
Both teams deserve the ball.
If your defense comes out and gets a stop with the current rules,
like you have
kick a field goal, you win.
have two gas defenses. Okay, my gas defense gets exposed. Like, that's not fair. Look at Chiefs Bills.
Make a play, man. That's what I'm
so
saying. Chiefs Bills is playoffs.
If Josh Allen wins the flip, he goes and scores.
Yeah, playoffs, you need it.
Like, why doesn't Mahomes get the ball for that? That's not fair.
No, playoffs, I agree.
Then why the regular season?
Because I don't care.
That's so stupid. Week 18 could be a playoff game.
It could be.
That's something I've ever heard in my life.
I would be okay if they changed it, but I like it.
That's stupid. I don't know how you like it.
I think it's totally
fine.
fine.
They made it after like week 8.
Well, then why not week 7?
Well, yeah, no. I think if you have the rule in football, or you don't have it at all. I think
so. You would make it the two teams get it.
Yes.
For the entire
season.
Two
teams need the ball in OT.
Do you like college more? I don't think you can do college in the NFL.
Everything about college is better than the NFL.
No, but I don't think you could do the college rule, like the 25-yard line.
No. I think both teams deserve the ball.
The kickoff, the whole thing.
Let's say
just have the overtime rule.
Let's just say a team scores, then the next week it's a stop. Boom, you win.
I mean, I'd be cool with it. Yeah, I'd be cool with it. But I'm not running to the podium to change it. I don't really
care either. But I think I'd rather not have the rule.
From James Library, another member, he says, "Who is your favorite player who isn't or won't be in the Hall of Fame? As much as it annoys Vikings fans, I love John Kuhn for the Packers when he'd rumble for that was so annoying. He'd rumble for a 2-yard touchdown on the goal line, and you hear the Kuhn chant. Yeah, that was horrendous.
That was just to piss you off. That comment, I think.
Yeah, I hated that. That was some of my least favorite Vikings Packers memories. Player who won't be a Hall of Famer who I really liked. I mean, Percy Harvin was one of my favorite players for a long, long, long time, especially growing up. So Percy's probably there for me. I also really liked. I don't know if Antoine Winfield will get in.
I have my answer.
I'm trying to think.
My answer would have been Zach Thomas, but he just got in.
Yeah, too late, man. Too late.
He just got in.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Tua, Zach.
He literally just got what?
Tua.
What about him?
Favorite player?
Favorite player not to make the Hall of Fame.
Probably not to make the Hall of Fame.
Well, he'll probably make it.
By the time he's done?
Yeah. He'll probably make it. He'll make it.
I'm trying to think if there's any other players I really, really...
Cam Wake.
Cam Wake was very good for you guys.
Oh, number 91. I remember him.
I like Bernard Berry in a lot too. Probably Percy Harvin.
I'd go Ike Taylor.
Oh, you loved Ike Taylor.
I think he's my favorite Steeler ever. I mean, he was totally locked down. He had a swagger. He was great.
Is Antonio Holmes a Hall of Famer?
No, he won't be.
He won't be.
I did love him for a span too.
He's another awesome player.
Yeah.
Another really awesome
But
player.
I go Ike Taylor.
Is Brandon Marshall in it yet?
I don't think Brandon
He won't make the Hall of Fame, no.
I feel like he had a pretty elite.
I also like
he was amazing, but I don't
Matt
think
Forte. Matt Forte was a good running back.
Oh yeah, neither of them. I need to look at Brandon. I don't think Brandon Marshall. Butt Pounder 420 says, which one of you could smoke the most meth? Also, how do I get my hands on the I Heart Love Sherpa as a tank top? We'll work on the tank top. Smoke the most meth?
I'd probably go Zach.
It'd have to be Zach.
Yeah, it'd have to be Zach.
Why?
I mean,
because Jack and I don't.
I mean, I tried a Zin and I was throwing up.
That's true.
I could not see myself.
I'm gonna be honest. I tried a Zin too. I thought it was a piece of gum.
I mean,
I started chewing it.
This is not the right group of guys
not the group to ask me who do
we drink alcohol and smoke cigars. That's basically what this.
I mean,
group
look,
does.
I'm hammered. I'm always hammered, but I don't do the other stuff.
That's about as hard as this group goes.
Yeah.
Well, Ziggy on the other. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, sure. Ziggy would be the answer. He'd actually be the answer.
Ziggy tries to start thinking about philosophy. He just tokes up.
Ziggy is like the cleanest person I know. William with 3 more. William Herman says, has Jack ever been charged with a violent crime?
William.
You remember we saw that? We were like, what the hell is this? No.
My answer to William is I've been accused, never charged.
No, the answer is no. That's what you want to say on a show.
No, I've never been charged.
Yeah.
I've never been charged.
That's also crime. True.
But, I've been accused.
Yeah. You haven't been. I'm sure that thousands of people will say.
I've never been charged of a violent crime.
What's the stripes? Never convicted.
Or accused of violent crime.
And never convicted.
But I did once knock Zach out. I got angry once. I knocked him the hell out. Could have been arrested for that, but
Zach,
that was about it.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Yeah,
tiny boy. LT Warowski says, "Hey guys, an interesting discussion last episode on the NFL cheerleaders. I wanted to dig into a little more."
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
That's my favorite question.
As a female viewer who does enjoy seeing Taylor Swift pop up during games, I think another great way to get young girls watching football is to showcase the cheerleaders and dancers more on TV. However, the uniforms tend to make me uncomfortable while watching. As a former dancer myself, I'd have to have every inch of one of those uniforms taped to my body to make sure it doesn't fall off. And I always think of the one Cowboys cheerleader who was poked and shamed on camera during a documentary for having too much stomach fat because the shorts were too small and tight. Is this something that men think about when they see these women on TV? Would they be just as attractive in a nice pair of high-waisted shorts or uniforms closer to college cheerleaders? Or is it too important to the NFL to keep the creepiest of male viewers happy? Considering the tough work conditions that many cheerleaders are subjected to, it seems cruel to force them into those uniforms when more comfortable options are available. I mean, candidly, I don't really know the first thing about cheerleading, so anything I say from here on out, just preface it with that. I mean, I do think that the NFL is, in terms of cheerleaders, is hopefully just trying to avoid, any negative situations where they do cheerleaders wear outfits, like revealing outfits. I mean, that's just kind of, I don't know when it started. But I would say I'd be an advocate for whatever the cheerleaders want to do. I don't know too much about it, but I know people who are really into cheerleading. I remember the Notre Dame cheerleaders. I was friends with a few of them. Work really, really hard. The guys and the girls both. Really good shape, like pretty incredible athletes too, that you don't think about too often. But these guys are doing flips, backflips like crazy, like gymnastics.
Incredible athletes. Yeah.
I would say though that in terms of like the uniforms, whatever they want to wear, I personally don't care. I mean, I'm sure that there are some weirdos out there, but I don't care.
They'll be the freaks out there for sure. But I mean, I'm not turning on a football game.
Yeah, I think most football fans don't really
more football fans than you think are turning it on to watch the game.
Yeah, I think almost all the football fans are watching the game. I think cheerleading has its own little community. Same thing with marching bands. This is marching bands at college games. Like the marching, it's awesome. I love having the Notre Dame marching band, but there are marching band kids who love it. So whatever changes they want to make, I'd be all for whatever's most comfortable.
I'm all for whatever too. I mean, rather be comfortable than
whatever you're comfortable in. Yeah, it's no fun if people are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
From Mercury Road 55, and in terms of the NFL, I do think that if it became a bigger issue, like if that was brought up, I'm sure that the NFL would rather not face some sort of public case like that.
Where was she a dancer? Where were you a dancer?
Yeah, let us know where you were a dancer.
Let us know where you danced.
Mercury Road 55, another member. This is the last one. Says, and this is where you take advantage of the membership. Paul, House of Farrington, first of his name, breaker of 10-yard chains.
No. Come on. Say it with your heart like you mean it.
Paul, House of Farrington, first of his name, breaker of 10-yard chains, Khaleesi of the 10,000 lakes, protector of the podcast, and Viking horn star, bring news from the Bay of Green. It states, what's this? Your fealty has not gone unnoticed. In honor of House Farrington bending the knee to the real kings in the north, the Green Bay Packers, I, King Jordan of House Love, proclaim from this day forth in the name of Odin, Ziggy shall now be named Ziggy Jordanson. For while I may not have birthed you, you still call me daddy. Skull pack, skull. That being said, my question is this: is it fair the Packers only play against one team in the Super Bowl? I'm just gonna say enough of this. Enough of this Mercury Road. That's a good comment. Well done. But yeah, Ziggy's staying with us. He's on our side for now. Hopefully.
Is it fair the Packers only play one team in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That's funny, Mercury.
So
Road.
there you go. There you have it. An episode without Ziggy completed. Everyone's still okay. Hopefully, well, we'll see. You know, there are parts that are cut out.
We got through it.
Yeah, I mean, there will be parts that are cut out, but hopefully everything.
Paul, what should they not forget to do?
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and to become a member of the channel. We're up to, I think, 45-ish or so. So
45.
we'll have at 50, we'll have a merch giveaway. We'll start having some fun. Memberships will definitely be rewarded. We appreciate everyone who's become a member, everyone for watching. All the comments are awesome. It's really fun taking a look at the mailbags and seeing all these questions. So we appreciate
every member
everybody.
Gets me a minute closer to sleep.
Yeah, Zach just wants to sleep. That's all he wants.
I mean, who doesn't?
That's all he wants.
Especially when you're getting up at 3 a.m. It sounds putrid.
So we appreciate it. I hope everyone enjoys this June day. And happy birthday, Uncle Tommy. Uncle Tommy's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Uncle Tommy.
Happy birthday, Uncle Tommy. We will, go Panthers. Oh, dude. Florida Panthers.
No.
Huge.
No.
Go Panthers.
Let me know any hats.
Big Panthers podcast.
Any hats.
You're a Ranger.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Any hats you want me to wear?
Panthers pod.
Any hats you want me to wear, let me know.
All right. See you later.